Hey, happy Tuesday. It's Dominic the Angel. It's Rumor and Innuendo. It's of adfreeshows.com. I'm of scoops.com and OneTrueSportTV.com. But I'm here, per usual, with Mr. Robert Karpolis, the busiest man outside of wrestling. But Robert, good to have you back here on Tuesday. How you feeling?
Happy to be back here today. Here's how non-observant I am of things. I just realized now Nick Nemeth is in our opening video crawl thing, and we had him on Friday. Didn't even occur to me that he's part of our opening credits.
How about that? Rightfully so.
Rightfully so that I'm that lack of observant, or rightfully so that he belongs there, Dom?
That he belongs there, Robert. Of course. That's what I think.
Okay.
Hey, fair enough. Let's give some shout outs to some folks before we hit the Oh, go ahead. Somebody's on a delay. It's either you or me.
No, I'm waiting for you to.
Oh, okay.
It might have been me. I was having a lag there for a second, but I think I'm back.
Okay.
You want to read some hellos? Yes.
Let's get some hellos. Dre Owen says hello. Will Razor make another run? And holy crap, he is watching me right now. If you did not catch it yesterday, Robert, Razor was an absolute terror.
Okay, how is this all I heard about yesterday?
He completely just hijacked the show. He would be running around. He was eating stuff he shouldn't have been eating. I had to stop and get up, and it was just nuts. It was nuts. He turned heel on me yesterday, big time. So I'm just waiting for him to do something diabolical because he's staring at me right now. But we'll see. Jeff Hettinger says, made it just in time for R&I Live. Shout out to all Jake as well.
I want to answer a question from Lou. Lou 4237 at the top has a question that I fully want to address right at the top. I said, did Robert have an aneurysm last night? Cody and Punk said belt so many times. I absolutely did. There were two moments on Raw where I sat up and I was like, what? Wow. One was JD McDonough. The other was these guys throwing around the B word. There's no place for that on a PG program to be using the word belt. That's all I'm going to say. It's a title. These men know better.
I don't have the freedom to say it still. Am I still?
No, you don't have the freedom to say belt. No, it's a title, Dom.
I don't know anymore.
Belt holds up your pants.
I just don't know anymore.
Also, Ron Ward asked a very important question here, which is Jacket Lady in the opening credits? Jacket Lady super over. She's a big deal, as is your co-host. My favorite of your co-hosts, Mr. Greg Gagne, got name dropped in the same promo as Belt. So I twice in one promo had a what the heck moment.
It speaks to the power of Greg Gagne.
Two things that you should never hear on WWE TV: Belt and Greg Gagne.
How dare you?
And I love how it was like, he's going to teach you how to do what was it?
Head scissors and a drop kick. I think it was.
Yeah, do a drop. That's 80% of his move set. The other is just looking like Greg Brady.
He's a high flyer, Robert. Don't you ever forget that. And hey, we're going to be flying high today when we recap Raw right now. Let's do it. Kicks off.
Do we have the edibles back as sponsors again? You're like, that would have been a perfect segue. Don't reach for your edibles. Don't just family show.
Family show here. But hey, Seth Rollins kicked off a family show this week on Raw. He came out and staked his claim for Royal Rumble before Gunther came out. And then we had Logan Paul surprise everybody. He was scheduled to appear, but surprising in this segment. We have our thoughts on this. But Robert, let's start with you. What did you think of this segment and how it was executed?
So Seth Rollins came out there. And to paraphrase one of the greatest cartoons of all time, The Critic, it stinks. This guy, it's amazing how regressive he is as a promo. He genuinely is bad. And I don't understand it because we've seen him in years past be interesting, be somebody you wanted to say, hey, I wonder what this guy's doing. This character doesn't work. Him as a baby face doesn't work. He said absolutely nothing for about 10 minutes. It was literally just watching a dude on a treadmill. He got nowhere. It felt like the same promo we saw Punk give last week that was done in about 2 minutes. This was done in 12. Gunther comes out, and it's like, I don't even buy that Gunther cares about Seth Rollins. But then Logan Paul got a reaction. Absolute chef's kiss to hear that.
That was some good stuff with Logan Paul. Like, I'm with you though on Seth. It was very paint by numbers kind of promo that CM Punk, like you said, delivered the week before, but in a much shorter and with much more conviction. This was like, hey, I have to touch these star points that everybody wants me to highlight here and just give it in the most basic pro wrestling promo kind of way.
Oh, I don't know. I think he broke major ground here, such as, I'm entering the Royal Rumble. I want to win the Royal Rumble, and I want to challenge for one of the 2 titles that exist. Huge.
Oh.
I mean, if you're a Netflix exec, you're going, man, they're making Raw can't miss. People really got to tune in to see like the 13th most important guy. The way that I explained this to somebody was, he's Stanley on The Office, but he thinks that Stanley's the star of The Office.
Yeah, that's a fair analogy, I would say.
That's not even fair, because Stanley's more entertaining.
Here's the thing, Robert. I don't know if maybe this was the perception I had, and maybe a lot of the mainstream wrestling fans had, but when the Shield first started, it seemed like the 2 heavy hitters were Jon Moxley and Roman Reigns, and then Seth was there, but then Seth ended up kind of coming to the forefront in a lot of ways by turning heel. You had Roman Reigns obviously being promoted the way he was. Jon Moxley went on his own route, obviously, and then like Seth had a good job as a cowardly heel. I thought he was good at that role, even though I hated that whole authority angle and stuff like that. But like just now, it's just like he does not know who he is. And he even said like he knows who he is in this promo. And I was not buying it. I wasn't buying it.
Because the character has no real direction. He doesn't really want to move in any way, shape, or form. He's a guy who is a very talented wrestler who thinks he's a babyface, but the way that promo was going was such that when he name dropped other people, they were cheering for them instead. They wanted to see CM Punk. They'd rather see John Cena. Seth has never been able to be the main event babyface guy. It's just not who he is. And there are certain guys that aren't. Roman, for a long time, was not that guy until he found his voice. So it was dull. And then, Logan Paul got a reaction from that crowd. I think part of that crowd booing that character for being an arrogant heel, part of that crowd booing him for being a real life heel. And that's, neither hide nor hair. That's why Hulk Hogan suddenly had mysterious family stuff. Nick, get married. We need to get married today. But let's not speed to the chapel. Let's go to reasonable speed. We know that didn't work well for you, brother.
Robert, could you imagine if they paired Logan Paul with Hulk Hogan?
Yes, I could. I'm pretty sure we saw that a week ago Monday. But yes, if you can wash a prime down with a real American beer, you may die.
That's quite the combo. Oh my god.
and speaking of you may die, there was a tag match. The War Raiders versus JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio.
That's correct. We did, and it was against the War Raiders, who
just said it was the War Raiders against JD and Dom. You're like, against the War Raiders.
War Raiders? Okay.
Thanks for paying attention.
I'm still
your bandana might be a little tight.
It's a little tight.
So I love JD McDonough. He is a wildly talented performer, a genuinely funny guy who is responsible for sending me a video clip of a soccer chant set to an ABBA song that my son chose to sing nonstop for 3 weeks straight. So I may have accidentally wished this upon him, but JD took a bump to the outside and his head snapped off of the new announce desk. And it is a new announce desk. It's no longer the easily collapsible one they used to use. It's now a more sturdy announce position. And when his head whipped off there, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was genuinely a moment of like, oh no. It felt like, I remember in college, like people would watch those like Faces of Death VHS tapes.
Yeah.
That's what this felt like. Thankfully, he was not critically injured at that point. He didn't, break his neck or anything. He continued with the match. After the match, he collapsed. He went to the hospital. I think it said he had a collapsed lung. He had some broken ribs. He's going to punctured lung. Sorry, he's going to be out for a few months. But yes, that's bad. But it could have obviously been a lot worse. Publicly, we wish JD best. Privately, I may have sent him something horribly mean in the best way possible, and that's great. But they still managed to put together a strong tag match, Dom.
Yeah, it was really fun. I like the War Raiders being positioned the way they are, and Judgment Day was a good compliment. Having Dom in the mix, which I did note. I mean, like you noticed the heat that Logan Paul got. Dom still got heat, but not to the level Logan Paul got. I don't think in this whole thing. But it was still really neat to see. Yeah, really scary spot with JD and Michael Cole, even noting it on commentary and stuff like that, and then putting it over. You could tell he was concerned, like, because he immediately was like, somebody seriously has to check on him. He even said that on commentary. So glad everything was okay, and yeah, thankfully.
I do want to clarify to for Alt Jake here, who was quoting another ABBA song. No, this was actually for Endo Wataru. Yes. Endo, he is Japanese. Endo, he wears number 3 Endo, and he's going to win the league. Not going to sing, just going to Shatner it with a little spoken word, because I am not the musical luminary like the folks that we saw at Raw. I've never felt older in my life.
Me either.
When they're like, it's Lil Yachty and Quavo and Lil Baby.
All right.
And 2 Chainz. I've heard of 2 Chainz. I've tangentially heard of Lil Yachty. Couldn't name you 5 or 6 of my favorite Lil Yachty songs right now. And then they're like, these people, multi-platinum, sold trillions. I'm like, I don't know. I feel that way like on SNL sometimes. There's a guest, a musical guest, and I'm like, there was a woman on like a week or two ago. It was like Gorilla or something. I don't know. Glorilla.
Yeah.
Had 250 million streams. I don't know, but it's great that they're highlighting a lot of the celebrities that are there. It makes it feel big and important. Obviously, a lot of them having connections to Netflix. It's gonna be seamless. It's a really good fit. And guys, speaking of really good fit, I want to talk to you about one of our incredible sponsors here, the Perfect Jean. Normally, I'd be wearing my Perfect Jean, but right now, I will be honest, it is, we're back into the 80s here in South Florida. It is boiling hot, and I just took the dog out for a walk, so I was like, I'm going to save the jeans for later. I wore them yesterday to go to a business lunch, which I will be talking about a little later in the show for a plug. But I had the Perfect Jeans on. They couldn't be more comfortable. They felt great sitting on a patio outside. They looked appropriate for a business meeting while also being remarkably comfortable. The best thing about the Perfect Jean when you go online is you can customize the hell out of these things. You can customize your color. You can customize your cut. You're going to feel great. It's going to look incredible. You're like Tony Khan when it comes to Dynamite or Collision. You have complete control. And unlike Tony Khan, you're going to feel great about what you do. So you can F your khakis. They have more. It's F your. You can fornicate with your khakis and get the Perfect Jean. You get 15% off with code Rumor15 at theperfectjean.nyc/rumor15. That's the perfectjean.nyc/rumor15. Drop that code Rumor15. You're going to save 15% off your jeans. You are not going to be sorry about that. And I am not sorry that I threw that plug from you out of nowhere. You still had the graphic up, Dom. Best producer in the business.
What can I say? Yeah. Hey, what's next match, Robert?
There was a lot of just like talking. So there was a thing with Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser, where like I had predicted, Ludwig Kaiser is going to be going after Penta, and then New Day is like, yeah, guys wearing masks, don't they suck? And they're like, even we don't like you. So I love this. I love that everybody, regardless of who you are, babyface, heel, celebrity, family, everyone hates New Day. That absolutely worked for me. We then got Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. The story here was that Woods had reserved seats for his parents. It had reserved seating on it, and I pointed this out on Twitter last night. If you go to an arena, you have a ticket with a seat number. It is already a reserved seat. This is not a general admission event. But hey, it worked. The parents wound up ultimately showing up, his parents and his sister, and they were sitting with Lil Yachty.
Hey,
love us some Lil Yachty. And Woods, not happy that they were all wearing New Day Sucks shirts.
Yeah, yes, they chose their side, if you will, against Xavier Woods, and it cost Xavier. He was distracted, and Rey Mysterio gets the win. You took a little exception with Kofi losing last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? What do you feel about him, Xavier Woods losing here? New Day getting the losses, even though they're supposed to be a rising heel team.
I still don't love it. I think it makes it feel less important. To quote one of my favorite Little Yachty songs, it drives me crazy. And I think another thing that they need to do, quote another Little Yachty song, is they need to flex up. And you may, as Lil Yachty says, hate me, but I would rather see New Day running roughshod over the LWO instead of being distracted by my parents aren't here and whatever. It's fine. It's like, I guess this is what they want to do with them. I would rather see them pushed more as a upper tier heel group, but realistically, going into WrestleMania, the best that they're going to be able to hope for right now is a match against the War Raiders.
Well, can I ask you this? Would you be more upset if your family turned against you or if Little Yachty turned against you, Robert?
I would be devastated if Little Yachty turned against me, as clearly a buoy, which is what his fans call. I don't know if that's what they call themselves. I just made that up now. It took you way too long to get that, dude. I'm telling you, that bandana is getting tighter by the minute. It's cutting off circulation. But speaking of great hip hop artists, Quavo came out with Jey Uso, and the entrance for this went on and on and on. Dude, this lasted forever, and it was this tremendous buildup for nothing.
Yeah.
And guys, yes. If you're looking for a tremendous buildup that's going to actually have a strong payoff, can we talk to you about Blue Chew? Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets. These erection-enhancing tablets have men achieving stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections for sexual activities. Blue Chew is putting its money where its mouth is and offering you a month free. Process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, not Lil Yachty, and once you are approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. Take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office. No awkward conversations. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. You want your lady to be yeeting all night long. So make life easier by getting harder and discovering your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this Lil Yachty endorsed episode of Rumor and Innuendo.
You want your yacht to rock? Try some Blue Chew.
God damn it, Tom.
Yes.
Jey Uso talked a lot to basically be like, yes, I lost, but I can beat this guy. Promise. Put me in the Rumble. And if they put him in the Rumble, 7 people are going to be eliminated before he makes it down to the ring.
Yeah, probably. He did also say Gunther, and Gunther's not going to be in the Rumble.
No, he wants to face Gunther. He wants to win the Rumble.
Is that what he said?
So he can face Gunther. Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe
even Quavo knew what was going on there. The Quavo Michael Cole handshake thing was brilliant. The replay after with Pat just burying him. That is the most fun you're getting in wrestling. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez took on Naomi and Bianca Belair. This was not the most fun you could have in wrestling. I like these women.
Mm-hmm.
I hated every minute of this match.
Explain.
It was flat. Mm-hmm. It was clunky. It was ice cold. It was like everybody seemed to be off a step. The whole even the production, they were shooting angles that they don't normally shoot, so you were able to see them getting into positions for their next moves or tags or whatever. This was a great idea on paper, poorly executed.
I did like the spot with Bianca diving onto Dominic, but other than that, yeah, it was just didn't click.
I'm all for a Dominic getting beaten up.
Yeah.
Not going to disagree.
Okay.
It's clear eventually we're getting a Naomi heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
That she's the one who did whatever happened to Jade Cargill that sent her into Ricky Stark's land. But sorry, Miro land.
Starksville,
Phoenix town. Phoenix is already a town, so it's not that good of a joke. But yeah, this was just kind of there. Didn't love it. Meh. Rhea and Bayley have an interaction. Bayley seems even less interesting now, though. I like EO popping up as like your ex and just being like, "I will see you on Saturday."
That's true. Look, just give Bayley the hugging gimmick back. I think that would help do a little bit of wonders here.
They do not pay her enough to have to hug wrestling fans. Have you been to a wrestling event recently?
Oh yeah, I don't want to hug wrestling.
No. Not when you're being all Mr. WWID doing commentary, Mr. Big Shot, who's like in my own little private booth area with my, your fancy Italian Aquapana water, and you're like, hey, this is what my rider says. I want only the freshest pineapple. I'm talking about sitting in a crowd next to wrestling fans.
Oh, I've been there, Robert.
Yeah, these are not people that you want to let Bayley go and hug. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yes. We've seen some awkward fan pictures with some of the female wrestlers. It's not good.
Oh God, it is
scary.
It is brutal. Guys, let's do better. Someone who did better was Paul Heyman. Ooh. Paul Heyman came out and revealed the cover for 2K25. And when there was the pyro and the banner drop, I thought it was going to be Sunny. But she is currently having some very awkward hugs of her own.
Oh my goodness!
In a federal correction facility. Nope, it's Roman Reigns, and they tried to make the video game seem important. Paul kept dipping a lot into the one gimmick. I kept waiting for him to accidentally slip up and mention Heyman and mention Brock Lesnar at some point, but we got Drew, who spit some facts, Dom.
Did spit some facts. This is what I like when Drew is able to kind of go in between like all these, different angles when it comes. He's obviously shooting with Sami Zayn. He's got tension with Punk still. And then here he is dipping himself into the Roman Reigns kind of category of things. And, it was hyping a video game this big. I get it. But it just seemed a little, I don't know, out of place, I felt.
I think this is why I think it worked a little bit. You want to be a good steward of your partnership with the video game, and making it feel like it is a big deal in the same way in the NFL when they reveal who's going to be on the cover of Madden. That's a genuine big deal for an athlete. Sure. So I like that they're treating it with that degree of respect and dignity, and that it's tying further into this man is reclaiming everything that was his. He is the tribal chief. He is the head of the table. He does have the Ulafala back. He's going to go win the Royal Rumble. He's going to go win the title. And oh, by the way, he is the face of the company because look, he's on this video game. And then Drew coming out there and being like, the only reason you would even have a bloodline is because of me. I created all this. Give me some royalties.
Do you think Paul Heyman played No Mercy, Robert?
No, I do not think that that Paul Heyman played video games. That those cost money, and that was at a point in time where he was not spending money on playing video games. I love No Mercy. That is the old time. That is the king. They will not be able to top it. And AEW trying to make that video game and saying it's just like No Mercy. No. It reminds it because it was such a lightning in a bottle thing. You see that in certain instances, and they're like I see the film. There's like certain movies that I absolutely love and put on a pedestal, and when they try to compare it to others, like Clerks is a good example. I love Clerks. That is an all-time, like I can watch that all day, every day, twice on Sunday. And then there was like 30 movies that tried to be Clerks.
Yeah.
And you try to use that same formula and it just doesn't work. That was kind of what we saw with AEW. And speaking of things that we've seen over and over and over and over and over and over and over, Drew McIntyre beat Sami Zayn for the 11th time.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not know that statistic, Robert, and I thought it was kind of cool. Like, and it was, I thought it was good and furthered the story of Sami Zayn here, him getting another loss against Drew McIntyre. I was kind of like, oh, what are they going to do with Sami here? He kind of feels out of place, but they did a really nice job tonight of kind of giving him a direction, and that is where is he going? I thought it was kind of neat. I like this overall, Robert.
We talked about this a week ago when we talked about the Kevin Owens promo where he talked to Sami, and I said you're laying out a roadmap for that Sami Zayn heel turn. And as soon as I saw what they were doing, Drew versus Sami, and Cody was going to be there, it makes you realize, oh, we could do a pretty interesting segment. I thought more folks were going to be involved because there was still Seth who was mad about the accident, so it could have been more people in there. They love to do that big pull apart before they get to the end of the Raw before Rumble. And now you've got Sami looking conflicted. He accidentally kicked Cody, and then Owens giving him the attaboy after was very, very fun. I have still maintained, and I said this months ago, I wanted to see a Sami and Kevin union partnership run roughshod. Those are guys over the summer that can absolutely fill in some of those gaps as we move past WrestleMania. They then awkwardly went to a commercial.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then a Roman Reigns video package talking about the video game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cody's just still kind of like laying in the ring, wearing his jacket, talking. And then CM Punk came out.
Yes.
And you named this episode Cinema between Cody and CM Punk. And so with the remaining time here on this, where we're already talking about Clerks, tell me about this Randall Graves-esque promo that occurred for Mr. CM Punk and the guy who wasn't even supposed to be here that day, Cody Rhodes.
Yes. So I hate that term cinema. It's overused and stuff like that, but I felt
and yet you put it in the
I put it in there. But I like this. I loved it. I thought and what you were saying, like we didn't get much of that pull apart, conventional stuff when it comes to the Royal Rumble. This, I think, was a great supplement and the best kind of way to do this and build for Royal Rumble, showing two guys that have a history with one another, Greg Gagne, and then they also ended up going to hitting personal stuff, and CM Punk kind of spinning it on. So hey, I told you all the good news, and that was like him like trying to find loneliness and being in the middle of the ring with all these people, not being with his family. But the bad news is I'm going to be the one to take you out. And so I thought this was really, really great stuff. And both guys did a great job at this. And, it really speaks. You want something to really sink your teeth into this WrestleMania season, considering what we had last year with The Rock and those elements coming into play. This could maybe be something, Robert, I think.
I love that they're making you want so many different variations of a WrestleMania main event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now there's something like 36 different combinations people want to see. Maybe even 37. But the fact that you're like, well, now I kind of want to see Cody and Punk, when there's people who are like, well, I kind of want to see a Roman Cody match again, or I want to see a Punk and Roman match again. Kevin Owens out there throwing out, give me, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn the main event. You got Gunther teasing Gunther and Rollins, Gunther and Logan Paul, Gunther and Cena. This is what's making this Rumble so much fun. Because there's a reason that you want to see Punk win. And it seemed like, all right, well, if Punk wins, maybe he'll challenge Gunther. Now it's like, well, now you could do Punk and Cody and really tell a compelling story coming off of this segment here. I mean, there was some genuine heat. The idea of I'm going to stab you in the front was great. But I even liked the Greg Gagne of it all. And then each guy trying to get the last line was kind of fun. This was a home run, Dom, and Rumor Innuendo always a home run. You can catch us live every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative _ISH X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor Innuendo, Working Stiff, and ad-free shows. Thursday, if you are going on the Jericho Cruise, if you're anywhere in the South Florida area, I will be at the Boca Raton Championship Wrestling Show in Miami at the hotel right by where they're going to be taking off. It's a star-studded show. A lot of great names, a lot of great surprises. It's going to be an absolute blast. So if you're going on the Jericho Cruise or you're down in South Florida and want to go check this out, swing on over. I'll be there. You can catch all the information at Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.com. That may be their website. I don't know. Google it. You guys know how this works. But Dom and I will be back here tomorrow to do our thing. Hopefully, Greg Gagne is not going to start charging you for recording that show.
Absolutely.
Now that he's a big star. But there is no bigger star than the man with the Bayside Tigers logo tattooed on his head, Dominic D'Angelo. And I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
And hey, my little yachty, Michael McDonald,